everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to perform the 2025 Arizona All-State Jazz Trumpet Etudes. I'll say a couple things about each etude, and then I'll perform the etude for you with a backing track, and then the backing track will continue, and there will be space for you to play along with it as well. My name is Andrew Smith, and I'm currently a graduate teaching associate here at Arizona State University. And as we get ready to dive into this video, I like to think about a quote that the legendary jazz trumpet player Miles Davis once said. He said, "Don't play what's there, play what's not there." And I like to think about this no matter what style of music I'm playing, but especially jazz. Jazz is a tradition, and it has its own language. And the only way to really learn that language is by listening to the great jazz masters from the past and absorbing as much of their style and their inflections and the way they phrase as possible into your own playing. And you'll find that over time, it'll start coming out in your own voice. And that's the most exciting thing about playing jazz, is that we get to have our own voice in everything that we do. Etude 1 is in the standard swing style, and the best person in the world to talk about swing, in my opinion, is a legendary jazz trumpet player, Clark Terry. And when Clark Terry taught jazz to his students, he talked about a system of articulation called the doodle system of articulation. And it's fairly straightforward. The doodle system of articulation is just the words doodle, dawdle, and deedle. And then you string those together to shape your phrases. And this is what scat singing is essentially made up of. Doodle, dawdle, deedle, dawdle, doodle. So I would encourage you, go through your etude maybe a couple measures at a time and practice saying that type of articulation over your eighth notes, and you'll start finding that the eighth notes sound a lot more natural and a lot more pro. So take a listen to Clark Terry doodle tonguing on YouTube, and let's go ahead and take a listen to this etude and see what it sounds like. So there's a couple different ways that you can approach Etude 2, but my favorite way to approach an Etude like this is with a big, beautiful sound, nice big vibrato, and lots of long phrases. All right, so ballads are always in a singing style, so you should always think about how would a singer sing something like this. And two trumpet players to check out that are amazing at this style are Doc Severinsen and Conrad Gazzo. If you check both of them out, you'll hear what I'm talking about. And I encourage you to listen to them and study how they shape a phrase and then apply that to your own playing. As I play this etude, notice where I'm emphasizing certain notes and where I'm backing off on phrases. Notice where I kind of push and where I pull back. And then use that to maybe make some choices of your own to make this etude your own. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So the key thing to think about in Etude 3 is going to be how your syncopated rhythms line up with the backing track, specifically the percussion underneath you. Take a listen to the kick drum and the snare drum and notice that rhythm, and then notice how your rhythms line up with that to create this forward motion. And that's really important in samba, is having a forward motion. So we don't want to lay back so much that it causes it to feel like it's getting behind. It should have a relaxed feel, but we should never swing the eighth notes so much that it starts feeling late. So one other thing to think about, in order to do this, sometimes we're going to have to slur some notes. You'll notice that none of the eighth notes are slurred in this etude, but it's totally okay to do that even though it's not written. So take a listen to how I play this and how I approach it. And then also take a listen to a couple people like Stan Getz and Sergio Mendes to get a great idea of what a samba can sound like. In Etude 4, you can pretty much play with the same swing style you used in Etude 1. It's just going to have a different backing track underneath it. One thing I would recommend is, since it's a lot of different 16th notes just strung together, put it all on one note, like on a G, and just practice playing it all on a G just to make sure you're getting your swing style right. You could do this with any of the Etudes, honestly, but specifically with this one and maybe number 1, and you can practice your doodle tonguing articulation with that too if you want. So one other thing to think about on this etude would also be on the second line and the third measure, there's a dotted eighth rest there. Now this rhythm gives a lot of people trouble, and I learned years ago, I think it was from an old drummer, and he told me to think of the words bucket of fish. And the reason why is if you say bucket o fish, that's the 3/16 notes in the eighth rest, so that you always come in at the right time after that dotted eighth rest. So if you think da da bucket of fish, da 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 da, it's going to help you get on that offbeat right where it needs to be. So I hope that helps. Let's go ahead and take a listen. This final etude is just for if you're auditioning for the lead trumpet chair. Now, as a lead trumpet player, you absolutely have to have a nice, strong, big sound in the upper register. But what a lot of trumpet players forget is that they also have to have a very strong knowledge of what the style and articulation demands are for each piece that they play. So I recommend working on the style and articulation down the octave first as you're working up this excerpt. So practice the articulations and get the vibrato just right on the final note. And then once you feel like you've mastered all of that, record it, get a great recording of it, and then practice playing along with that recording of yourself down the octave to give yourself the same approach, relaxed feeling up the octave as you do in the lower octave. I think you'll find that you're playing much more free and relaxed in the upper register if you do it this way. And that's really the key to playing with a great sound in the upper register, is playing more relaxed. It may seem when you watch famous trumpet players that are known as being high note musicians that there's tension there, but actually it's a complete opposite. The more relaxed you are in the upper register, the bigger the sound is going to be and the more free and more fun it's going to be for you up there. So let's take a listen. I hope you found these tutorials helpful, and I'd like to end this video with a quote from the one and only Buddy Rich. And it's very short. He said, "You only get better by playing." So I will add to that. You should play a lot, you should listen a lot, and you should always take chances. You should always go for it. And if you go all in with your playing and anything else you do in your life, you'll absolutely soar to new heights.
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
And we hope you enjoyed all these videos for the All-State Band and All-State Jazz Trumpet Etudes.
If you like this content, we've got so much more over on our social media. Check out the ASU Trumpet Studio on Facebook and Instagram to keep up with all the brass madness happening on campus. If you're craving more trumpet in your life, for whatever reason, ASU Trumpet Day 2025 is happening. It's in the books. We hope to see you there. We're going to be talking about these etudes, going into more depth about trumpet, auditioning, all the things. Check out the description below for the event information. We hope to see you there.
And happy practicing.
Happy practicing.